listening to Jesus when he warns of Satanism is of utmost importance, as it allows individuals to be aware of the spiritual dangers that surround them and to take necessary precautions to protect themselves from evil influences. In the Bible, Jesus frequently warns his followers about the presence of Satan and his attempts to lead people away from God. He teaches that Satan is a cunning and deceitful enemy who seeks to destroy humanity and separate them from their Creator. One of the primary reasons why listening to Jesus' warnings about Satanism is crucial is that it helps individuals to understand the nature of spiritual warfare. The Bible teaches that Christians are engaged in a constant battle between good and evil, with Satan and his forces seeking to undermine God's work in the world. By listening to Jesus' warnings, believers can become aware of the tactics that Satan uses to deceive and manipulate people, and they can take steps to protect themselves from his evil influence. Jesus' warnings about Satanism also serve as a reminder of the importance of spiritual discernment. In a world where many false teachings and ideologies are masquerading as truth, it is essential for believers to be able to discern what is genuinely from God and what is from Satan. By listening to Jesus' teachings, individuals can develop a keen sense of spiritual discernment, which enables them to distinguish between truth and error and to avoid being led astray by false teachings. Furthermore, listening to Jesus' warnings about Satanism helps individuals to recognize the dangers of idolatry and the worship of false gods. Satan often uses idolatry as a means of distracting people from the one true God and of leading them into spiritual bondage. By being aware of the dangers of idolatry, believers can avoid becoming entangled in worldly systems and ideologies that are opposed to God, and they can instead focus on worshiping and serving the one true God. In addition, Jesus' warnings about Satanism emphasize the importance of putting on the whole armor of God, as described in Ephesians 6:10-18. This armor includes the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the shoes of the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. By putting on this armor, believers can protect themselves from Satan's attacks and be empowered to stand firm in the face of spiritual adversity. It is also worth noting that Jesus' warnings about Satanism are not intended to instill fear or anxiety in believers. Rather, they are meant to encourage believers to be vigilant and to trust in God's power and protection. As the Bible teaches, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind, 2 Timothy 1:7. By listening to Jesus' warnings about Satanism, believers can be confident in God's ability to protect them from evil, and they can live their lives with courage, faith, and trust in God's sovereignty. Ultimately, listening to Jesus when he warns that Satanism is essential for living a life that is pleasing to God. By being aware of the spiritual dangers that surround them, believers can take necessary precautions to protect themselves from evil influences, and they can live their lives in a way that honors and glorifies God. As Jesus teaches, if you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. John 8:31-32. By listening to Jesus' warnings about Satanism, believers can know the truth, and they can experience the freedom and victory that comes from trusting in God's power and protection.